What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. Want to thank my sponsor, Steel Supplements. Link, discount code down in the description. You also know I'm a Weeble. Preferred Influencer. Best promotion they have right now in the pinned comment. All you have to do, go click the link, open an account. They're going to give you free stock. You deposit even $1, they're going to give you more free stock. Maximum Football here, what we waited for. A little bit of gameplay. And when we talk about Maximum Football, I think one of the things that I concern myself the most with is the polish, is the refinement. Because when you go back and you look at what the team over at Modus has had to deal with, no surprise, Doug Flutie's Maximum Football was a little bit behind, a little bit lacking in polished gameplay. A little bit clunky in the movements, a little bit boxy in the animations. So to take a look at something like this and understand where it's coming from and what it's rooted in. One of the biggest problems we have in football gaming is we don't always have the ability to have our linemen respect the ball carrier, be it a quarterback, be it a halfback. So to have them sitting here and programming logic where the ball carrier can go out and interact even though they're behind the blocker, is a pretty big deal. The reason I say this is a big deal is it creates a number of different scenarios. Number one, it means your quarterback isn't always going to fall over the moment he runs into a lineman. Number two, it means that when you approach a lineman, they're going to be guided, just as they would in real life, based on your position to perhaps continue to hold or re-engage a block. These are fundamental things in football. And one of the things that other games really struggle to get because it's a lot of work. This is detailed programming. But when you get this right, it gives you dynamic pockets. It gives you the ability to help set blocks if you're going to scramble. So as an example, you could run over to your right, help a block re-engage, then go back to your left, and then run through a lane that you figuratively kind of work to open up. Those are strategy calls on a specific play. Not going out X's and O's, but rather using your football intelligence to better understand how to articulate your player on the field and turn what might be a negative play into a positive. This also helps, in my opinion, the pocket collapse cleaner. You can read the blocks fail, and also gives you the ability, for talking about ends being set, to move up in a realistic fashion, and perhaps even in certain situations, being a Colts fan, as many of you know, have the ability for your defensive ends to overrush the pocket and present the quarterback escaping on the left or right. Just as the Colts, you go back and look, Dwight Freeney, Robert Mathis, great pass rushers, but frequently they would overrush, allow the quarterback to step up, have a great amount of room to either throw passing lanes on the left or right, or roll out and really cause damage. Those are things that are player specific. Those are things that are team specific. Honestly, those are things that even a non-mobile quarterback that you would traditionally have will be able to do. So the fact that not only are they working on this, but again, they're sharing it. I think one of the things we overlook because we're so used to hearing the same rhetoric from gaming companies is selling big features, big selling points, big changes. It's hard to sell improvements, right? That's one thing we've been told for years. You can't sell, we made it better overall. But things like this show us Maximum Football is making it better overall. Now, I do want to address, as we close this out, one concern I've seen a lot of people have. It seems like if they're in this position, perhaps the game isn't far enough along to where we could see a release in the next number of months, which is the commitment they've made. So to that, I would offer number one, we don't know how far along in this cycle they are. We don't know how old this footage is, although we would presume it's new. We don't know if this is something that's been completed and based on what they've seen from feedback from community members is something they want to share. I think Maximum Football is in a unique position now where not only do they have a laundry list of complaints from a game that is ultimately not theirs, understand, Doug Flutie's Maximum Football, David Winter, Canuck, all the great things they did, that was not Modus. But they do have all of those complaints available to them that they need to address. So you have a whole core fan base of this game that is looking for things to be improved, in addition to a whole fan base of other games, not just Madden, but other football games that want to see things done better, or in some cases want to see things implemented that those games haven't done or haven't done well. And it allows Modus to kind of play both sides. They can come out and they can show, like we talked about last week, graphical improvements, sideline detail, and say, listen, the concerns you have with Maximum Football, we're addressing, but also things like this, and say, look, the concerns you've had with games overall, this is something we're working on. And then obviously, with this game being free, as I've said in past videos, you don't have a financial commitment to play this game. I would offer that you have a commitment as a football gamer, as a football fan, to at least download this game and provide them feedback. I have no problem with anyone that wants to sit there and look at this and say, the game is too far behind, the game is awful, I'm not going to play the game because of it. That's your personal opinion. But by saying that, you're closing off your ability to provide feedback. If this game is awful, then just as EA has told us in the past, Rex Dixon was phenomenal at this. If the game is awful, you tell me why it's awful so I can make it better. Awful is not tangible feedback. Bad is not tangible feedback. I think we're so accustomed to games not meeting our expectations that it's easy to broad brush and just say, I don't like this game, or there's so many things I don't like, I don't know where to start. And those are both fine opinions to have, but in order to get a true competitor in this marketplace, I don't care if it's from Modus Games or 2K, we have as a community to start providing a little bit more specific, granular feedback, good and bad, of the things that we do like and the things that we don't like. Because we also have to be mindful that whatever Modus does with this game is also going to be taken into consideration with 2K, right? They're going to look at a game like this, and if there's things implemented we don't like, know that, hey, a good bit of gamers don't like this. And I think you can see that happening already when you look at Maximum Football, not including microtransactions, not including an ultimate team-based aspect of microtransactions, right? Because that's something as a core our community here has kind of been against. You know, we don't want that pay-to-win mentality. So the fact that they're already in a way listening to that feedback, and, you know, I would hate to say 2K would listen to that knowing that they probably won't, and just like every other AAA title, just late in their game with buy this, buy that, here's a pack, here's a card, the way they have. Even if you think back to All-Pro Football, that game would have so easily went hand in hand with microtransactions, buying packs. I mean, essentially it was designed to be a fantasy football game, but not to go too far off where we are with Modus, I think it's important to understand the feedback that we provide to one company can technically be heard by all of them, especially if we're creating content with those games. So with that said, I appreciate you guys watching this video. I would love to know your thoughts on this, and you know I will be back in the week with more commentary.